Hello, my name is Peter Sees, and this is my book, Nicky and Vera. I want to talk about how I came up with this idea for the book. I think about 10 years ago, I took our son, Matej, for a trip to Prague, where I grew up, to show him my old school and streets I played in, and River Vltava and the castle, and we talked in that time about heroes, because he was doing a project on heroes at school, and we talk about sports heroes and celebrities and political heroes and quiet heroes. And somehow in the same time we went to the National Museum in Prague, and by coincidence there was this big group of older people making lots of noise, and they had this huge chocolate cake with engine, with the steam engine, of train engine on the top of the cake, and we were wondering what's going on, and they said, we are celebrating 100th birthday of Nicholas Winton. Nicholas Winton wasn't in Prague for the birthday, he was in London in the wheelchair, but these were people who were some of the children who were saved by him before the war, and they were getting on the train to London on the same day to go the same way like they did as children to celebrate his birthday. And this really got me talking to Matej about what does it mean to be a quiet hero, somebody who does something and doesn't want any rewards or recognition. So this book is about Nicholas Winton, who was 29 years old when he came to Prague, and I will try to read a little bit from the book. Nicky was born in 1909 into a century full of promise. At Nicky's school, the students were encouraged to follow their interests, whatever they were. Nicky discovered he liked mathematics, stamp collecting, photography and fencing. The students had all kinds of pets. Nicky raised pigeons. It didn't matter what the students were interested in, so long as they were interested in something. As a young man, Nicky traveled all over Europe. He worked as a banker, he learned German and French, how to ride a motorcycle, drive a car and fly a plane. He was an expert fencer. He was on an Olympic team. Nicky and his friends talked about politics. They worried about the situation in Europe, in Germany. The Nazi party led by Adolf Hitler was building an army. In December 1938, Nicky planned to take skiing vacation, but a friend called. Come to Prague, he said. Vera was 10 years old. She lived with her family in a small town near the big city of Prague. Vera was the queen of cats. She would adopt a stray whenever she found one. She loved to feed the horse that pulled the wagon for her parents' business. It was a happy childhood. Vera's family and their neighbors were proud citizens of the young Republic of Czechoslovakia. They were one of the few Jewish families in town. It made no difference. They were all friends. Vera helped to almost blind grandmother when she came to visit. Vera's grandmother remembered Vera's face by touching it. Sometimes when the family visited cousins in Prague, they went to synagogue. Vera's family spoke Czech, but if her parents wanted to share secrets, they spoke German to each other. In October, the German army marched into the border region of Czechoslovakia called Sudetenland. People afraid of Germans ran with everything they could take. One morning, there was a new girl in Vera's class. Vera gave her an extra pair of shoes. I had no time to take anything, the barefoot girl said. In the family's cellar, a barn, there was suddenly extra food and clothing. Just in case, said Vera's mother. When visiting Prague, Vera's mother heard about an Englishman who was helping children leave Czechoslovakia to escape the Germans. That Englishman was Nicky. He saw the war was near and something had to be done. England would allow refugees under 17 to come if families could be found to take care of them and travel could be arranged. Nicky set up an office in a hotel in Prague. He made lists of children, he took their photographs, he found train connections. Spies kept watch. In January, Nicky returned to London. In the evening after work, he placed advertisements in the newspapers to find foster families to take care of the children. He applied for visas and made travel arrangements. Sometimes he paid with his own money and made his own stamps. There wasn't much time. In March 1939, the German army invaded the rest of Czechoslovakia. Line after line of German soldiers marched through Vera's hometown. One of them came to the family house and said he would be moving in. He told them to stop speaking Czech. Vera's father refused. Vera vowed that she would never speak German. The day came for Vera to leave. She packed her clothes. Vera's father gave her a diary. He told her to write down memories until she could return home and see them again. She said goodbye to her grandparents. She said goodbye to her cousins who were to follow her to England on a later train. 76 children got on the train. Vera tried not to cry. She and the other children did not know what lay ahead, so they told stories about the lives they left behind. After 3 days and nights, they arrived in London. The rest of the children were picked up. Vera waited in the empty hall. Finally, her new family came. Eight trains left Prague in spring and summer of 1939. 669 children of all ages reached London safely. On September 1st, Germany attacked Poland. That day, the 9th train carrying 250 children, including Vera's cousins, was due to leave Prague. But the borders were closed and the train never left. Nicky was out of time. He put away his records. He served in the war as an ambulance driver. He was evacuated by boat from the French city of Dunkirk as the German army advanced. Vera wrote in her diary every day. She learned a new language. She went to a new school and learned to eat new foods. The war was everywhere. She had no news from home. She hoped her parents were safe. When the war was over, Vera went back to her town. Her family was gone. Her father and mother had died in the Nazi camps. Her cousins too. She only found the daughter of one of her old cats. She did not stay in Czechoslovakia. After 4 years, she returned to England. She got married and had a family. Nicky lived quietly. He helped open a school, he got married, he founded an old people's home. He never told anyone about the children. When Nicky was an old man, his wife found the records. One day he got a phone call. Did he want to meet some people he used to know? Vera got a phone call too. Did she want to meet some old friends? Nicky was guest on a television show. He didn't know it, but the old friends he had been invited to meet were some of the children. Vera was one of them. She was sitting next to Nicky. When the host told her story, she stood up. Everyone stood up. 669 children would not have survived if not for Nicky, who went to Prague and saved their lives. I was no hero, Nicky said. I did not face any danger as real heroes do. I only saw what needed to be done. And picture of the tree in the shape of heart, with all little hearts in it, which would be not only the children he saved, but about 6,000 or 7,000 grandchildren, great-grandchildren of these children who lived all over the world. And I think the pictures are a big part of this book, so it would be good if you see them. Thank you very much.